Shazam! This is a 2019 superhero film set in the DCEU franchise. And this film is directed by David F. Sandberg. The plot is we meet Billy Batson, who is a 14-year-old teenager who is this foster kid who lost his mom during his fair when he was a young kid. And he's desperate to reunite with her and try to be back together again. It's not till he gets adopted by his two foster parents, including his other brothers and sisters. Even though Billy doesn't want that, he wants to find his real mom and be with her. But it's not till he gets upon about this wizard, who is this old mysterious guy who has the powers of a god, who gives him the powers of his own and calling himself Shazam. So Billy becomes Shazam, and he learns how to use his powers by this foster brother named Freddy, who knows his superhero stuff. But he has to use his powers to stop this evil guy named Dr. Phineas Zelvia, I think that's his name, sorry I pronounced that wrong, who is planning to not only to get the powers of what Billy Batson has, but he wants more power and use it to conquer the world. What do I think of Shazam it's pretty obvious. I love this movie. I do. I really enjoyed this movie. This is a really fun superhero movie that I have ever seen. It's a really fun time. Now, my favorite DCEU movie is Wonder Woman, but this one is a close second. This is just a close second to be a great film. The reason why it's so good, because there's so much in there. It's full of self-wonder. It didn't take itself too seriously. It does have its moments where it does take itself seriously when it comes to certain parts of the movie, but it has that heart charm of the original Superman movie and that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films, which I really appreciate. It's really campy, yet still has that fun, inspiring movie to watch. Let's get into the characters themselves. Billy Batson, played by Answer Angel, I think that's his name. I've never seen this guy before, but I think he's done quite a few things here now and again, but he's a good actor. His performance as Billy Batson, he's pretty good for the most part. He's very likable. When you do see him, you want him to find his mom. You want to support his character. You want to root for him. You want to succeed, even though deep down what he's doing was wrong, because he has to move on with his life. And when he does become the character Shazam, he becomes Zachary Levi, who is basically the character he is. Zachary Levi, who I do like. He's a likable actor. I have seen him in a lot of stuff. Like, he's the voice of Finn Rider or Eugene from Tangled, the Disney animated film, if everyone remembers that. And also, there's quite a few great moments. He's so much charisma, so much charm. He acts like a 14-year-old inside a man's body, inside a God's body. He acts like a child. That's what he is, or is a God who's inside a child's body or something, whatever the lines are. But he does act like that 14-year-old. Especially, he goes to the liquor store where he asks for some beers. He says, "I'd like to buy your finest beers, please." It's so great. I just love it. It's just so cool. And of course, his superhero expert friend, his brother, foster brother, Freddy, he's a superhero nerd who is on this, he's disabled. He's got this little stick with him because he has struggled with, I don't know, he has some kind of, try to watch my words here, he's got bipolar, I think, disease or something. I can't recall, but comment down below and tell me politely, please. I don't want to be rude about it, but Freddy, he's a cool character. He's interesting because he's really supportive of Billy. He's asking him all these superhero questions. Or what power would you like? Or what powers would you like? You want flight, or you want invisibility? Do you want this? Do you want that? It's kind of like my mate did this to me when he's asking me what kind of powers would you like, or what superhero would you be? It's like kind of a question that out of the context, but it's so likable. He's just a likable character. He's just so likable, so immature for himself. Especially has all this superhero stuff. Especially he has the bullet with Superman's bullet crushed. by the police detectives, even though Billy stole it. He accidentally drops the bullet into the Zora, like, damn it, Billy, damn it. His other foster kids, they're not in the movie that much. We do see them. You do see a bunch of them. Then there's one girl named Mary, who's the kind of a more mature type of girl. And of course, there's other two kids. One is the little Asian kid, and there's one who's a bit overweight and he doesn't give a crap about anyone. And especially the little girl who hugs Billy all the time. Especially hugs him like, oh, good luck in your best day of school, brother. And like, okay, come on. That's a little bit creepy, wasn't it? Let's talk about the villain, played by Mark Strong as Dr. Thaddeus Sylvia. His character, you do see him as a young kid, like the open scene. We do see him as a young kid, gets abused by his father and his brother, and he's treating so much crap. And the moment he wants to get the powers of Shazam, and he's not the pure heart of gold compared to Billy Batson, who is the heart pure gold or pure good-hearted person. He just wants power. He wants to be respected. But he does become the villain. He grabs his little thing into his eye, and all these sinister sins, I think it's called, or whatever you call them, these demons, and they're in control of his power, and he wants to find the staff, and also to stop but give up for Billy's powers, to get his powers so he become the new champion, which is so mature. Mark Strong, he's a great villain, and the one thing I can always say, Mark Strong's performance, that he did appear in the past DC film, which is Green Lantern, which came out 12 years ago that nobody talks about. Green Lantern as Sinestro. Training scene where you see Billy gets trained up, try to use his powers, and the fight scenes are really enjoyable. The fight scene between him and Thaddeus Sylvia is really, really great. It's interesting. It still has a mixture of comedy and action to it. It's just full of great stuff. And the special effects are fantastic for the most part. It looks great. Especially the one scene with Billy where he does find his mom, and he finds out the truth that the reason why she never finds Billy as a young kid after he's been lost in that fair, because she doesn't have a cope or looking after Billy because he can't handle it. He just couldn't cope with it. So Billy realizes now that, okay, I have to move on. I realize I've got a family. I've got a foster family, which I had to live with, which is a sad moment, but it does give the heart of the character realizing now, you know what, I have to move on with my life. It's such great stuff. There's so many great stuff about Shazam. It's just so many things about it. You can just enjoy this movie. It's such a great film. It's definitely one of the better movies from the DCEU. Definitely one of the best films I think I've seen. It's definitely great. I love this movie. I do. It's a really enjoyable film. I've watched it again, and I actually liked it more than I thought I would. Because I know many people look at it now and say it's not that good, it's too cheesy, it's too campy, it's too silly, it's too lighthearted. But I appreciate for its lighthearted tone and its, I can't say what right, upbeat tone and its cheesy, campy, yet fun, inspiring film. I would definitely recommend you guys watching this film. So my rating, worth buying on 4K. It is worth buying on 4K. So you guys recommend you watching this. If you've seen this film, comment down below, what do you think? Do you love Shazam? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright? Or do you dislike it or hate it? Comment down below, and of course, be civil in the comments. And of course, guys, until next time, see ya!